The University of Georgia Cooperative Extension, in partnership with the professional landscape industry, proudly presents installation and establishment of turf grasses. An attractive lawn is the carpet of the landscape. It adds beauty and value to an area in addition to reducing dust, glare, heat, and erosion. In this training, you will learn the recommended, research-based procedures for establishing a lawn successfully from seed or sod. Before planting an area in turf grass, analyze the site. Look at the changing shade patterns and the amount of sun or shade the area gets throughout the day. Light level will help determine the type of turf grass best suited for the site. Most turf grasses require direct sunlight to produce a desirable lawn. Make note of changes in elevation and slopes that may influence soil drainage. If turf grass is to be planted under trees, soil disturbance should be minimized to avoid injuring tree roots and stressing the trees. Tree roots also compete with turf grass for water and nutrients. The first step in establishing a lawn is to take a soil sample. The results of this test tell you what kinds and amounts of lime and fertilizers are needed to properly establish and maintain a lawn. Contact your local county extension agent for instructions on how to collect and submit samples for testing. Turn in soil samples at least 1 month prior to planting. Also, contact your local utility protection service to locate and mark all underground utilities. Before disturbing the soil, control existing vegetation with approved herbicides and practices. Difficult to control weeds, such as Bermuda grass and nutsedge, may require several applications of a non-selective herbicide. Always follow label recommendations when applying pesticides and wear appropriate protective clothing and safety gear. Next, remove all debris such as stones, boards, bricks, and bottles from the site. Also, remove any old tree stumps and roots. If they are not removed, stumps and roots will decay and cause depressions in the lawn and may introduce some diseases. When installing a lawn on a new site, or if extensive grading is being done, push the existing topsoil to one side. Then, after the building or grading operation is completed, the topsoil should be redistributed. If the soil is poorly drained or becomes packed during rough grading, it is necessary to loosen the compacted soil with a rototiller before planting. On some poorly drained soils, subsurface drain pipe may be necessary. When grading, a 2% slope away from buildings improves drainage. This is equivalent to a drop of 2 feet over a distance of 100 feet. If the lot is level or if it slopes toward the building, a drainage swell helps direct surface water away from the building. On steep slopes where rock outcrops exist, several inches of topsoil may be necessary over the loosened rough grade. Topsoil should have a uniform composition and should be free of rocks, weeds, and other debris. Improve soil quality by adding organic matter. Use 1 to 3 cubic yards of peat moss or compost over 1,000 square feet of lawn area. Thoroughly incorporate amendments, fertilizer, and lime to a depth of 4 to 6 inches. Delay final grading and mixing of fertilizer into the topsoil until just before planting time. If done too far in advance, fertilizer may leach from the soil. Once the soil is properly prepared, it is time to plant. To ensure success, select high-quality seed or sod. In Georgia, the Crop Improvement Association certifies seeds and grasses are true to type and free of noxious weeds. Select grasses that are best adapted to the particular environmental conditions of the site. Consult your local county extension agent, seed dealer, or local turf grass website for more information about the different types of grasses and their cultural and environmental requirements. Lawn grasses are established by either seeding or by vegetative methods. Planting turf grass from seed offers a uniform cover that is relatively inexpensive compared to sodding. Cool season turf grasses such as tall fescue, ryegrass, and Kentucky bluegrass are normally established by seeding. However, tall fescue and Kentucky bluegrass can also be established from sod. Plant these grasses during the fall for best results. Centipede grass, common Bermuda grass, and some zoysia grasses are warm season grasses which may be planted from seed during the summer months. When planting extremely small seed like centipede grass, mix the seed with a carrier, such as grits, to ensure even distribution. Often, sand is used as a carrier, but differences in density between the sand and seed result in separation and an uneven distribution of the seed. Plant turfgrass seed using a broadcast spreader or by hydroseeding. For small areas like home lawns, broadcast spreaders work best. Once you determine the amount of seed to apply over the entire area, divide it into 2 equal parts and use a broadcast spreader to distribute the seed in 2 directions at right angles to each other. This ensures a more uniform seed distribution. Lightly cover newly planted seed by hand raking or dragging the area with a mat. This increases seed-to-soil contact and improves seed germination and survival. Seed should be covered with no more than 1/4 inch of soil. After raking or dragging the area, roll the seeded area lightly to firm the soil. Next, mulch the seeded area with a light covering of weed-free straw. Mulching not only maintains soil moisture, it also prevents erosion during irrigation or rainfall. 1 bale of wheat straw covers about 1,000 square feet. Apply mulches evenly and lightly. Properly applied mulch will decay and does not need to be removed. Grass seedlings will germinate and grow through the mulch material. Peat moss or sawdust do not make good mulches. These materials compete with the seed for water and tie up soil nitrogen as they decompose. As a final step, water the newly seeded area immediately after planting and continue until the turfgrass is established. Keep the upper 1/2 inch of soil moist but not soggy by lightly irrigating, perhaps several times each day. Do not saturate the soil because excessive soil moisture encourages diseases. Hydroseeding involves mixing the seed with water and in some cases a mulch material in a large tank. This mixture is sprayed over the planting area. Lime and fertilizer are often incorporated into the mixture and sprayed along with the seed. The advantage of hydroseeding is that equipment does not have to travel over the seed bed. Hydroseeding is often used for seeding large areas or areas difficult to plant with conventional seeders. Turf grasses are also established vegetatively by sodding, sprigging, or plugging. All warm season grasses, including zoysia grass, common and hybrid Bermuda grass, centipede grass, and St. Augustine grass may be established vegetatively. Tall fescue and Kentucky bluegrass can also be established by sodding. Sodding provides the quickest method of obtaining a lawn. Sodding is desirable on steep slopes or terraces where soil erosion can be a problem. Before laying sod, prepare and fertilize the soil according to soil test recommendations. Also, inspect the grade and firm the soil with a roller. A 1 to 2 inch trench along curbs and sidewalks prevents sod from slipping. Prior to unloading sod, inspect it thoroughly. It should be moist, green, and healthy. Sod should not remain on the pallet for more than 48 hours after harvest. When sod remains stacked for longer periods, diseases may develop and heat buildup can damage the turf grass. Lay sod pieces the same way you lay brick, fitting them together as tightly as possible. As you move forward, continue to alternate the end seams to avoid stretching or tearing the sod pieces. If the sod or soil is wet or too soft, use a kneeling board to protect the sod. It is advisable to work from the soil side to reduce traffic on the new sod. For irregular areas, cut pieces of the sod to fill in the gaps. Trim around sprinkler heads and along curbs to provide a smooth, neat appearance. Always keep safety in mind when using knives or other sharp objects around your coworkers. After the sod is down, use a roller to ensure good root-to-soil contact, then water thoroughly. Newly planted turfgrass areas must be watered frequently, but lightly to prevent the surface from drying out. As with seeding, keep the upper 1/2 inch moist during establishment. On large areas, periodic irrigation during the sod laying process may also be needed to prevent the sod from drying out. As the sod begins to take root and grow, gradually decrease the frequency of watering until the turfgrass is fully established. After the turfgrass is established, fertilize according to soil test recommendations. Avoid applying more than 1 pound of actual nitrogen per 1,000 square feet in a single application. High rates of fertilizer may stunt or kill the young grass. It also encourages weed growth and overstimulates shoot production while decreasing root production. Begin mowing turfgrass when it has grown 30 to 40% higher than its recommended mowing height. Before mowing sodded areas, make certain the root system is tacked or rooted into the soil. Also, be sure the soil has had time to dry or drain. Running a mower over wet soils will leave ruts and an uneven surface. Mowing wet sod also presents a safety hazard because the mower or worker may slip on the wet grass. Mowing new grass that has been allowed to grow too tall results in an unattractive appearance and promotes unhealthy growth. Follow recommended cultural practices, including proper mowing, watering, and fertilizing to reduce weeds, diseases, and insects. Beautiful lawns don't just happen. They result from proper installation and establishment procedures. In order to produce a healthy, vigorous turfgrass, always take a soil sample. Prepare the soil properly, incorporating amendments and drainage if necessary. Choose turfgrasses best adapted to the site. Select only high-quality seed or plant material. Plant seed or sod according to recommended practices. Maintain quality growth by watering, fertilizing, and mowing correctly. Follow appropriate safety procedures when operating equipment or applying pesticides. The time, effort, and expense required to grow an attractive lawn will be well worth your effort. For more information on turfgrass selection, establishment, and management, visit www.georgiaturf.com or your local land-grant institution's website. Also, to learn more about job safety procedures, see other trainings in this series, including Being Safe with Grounds Equipment and Job Safety for the Professional Landscape Employee.